as we've been celebrating her tonight. We have all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, information from one of her special classes as a director in qualification. Let's give it up for Kelli Dart. She's going to be our trainer tonight. She's been so excited to share specifics that she got in her class. And she's been utilizing this and getting some great sales. I'm going to put it on speaker view, Kelli, so I can see you better. There we go.
All right, so first I want to show everybody my shirt. It's my Valentine's shirt. It says love. And I am not in my red jacket tonight because I'm technically not in my red jacket. So that is me being transparent and honest. And I am working back up to it. And I've got a bunch of stuff kind of in the pipeline and everything. So we're working back towards it. DIQ and directorship is still on my radar. And I did want to show everybody that since I was able to order early, I've already got it. It came today. So those are my 3 most favorite things I'm excited about. And they came perfect today for Valentine's Day. So I've had a couple little extra orders I got to put in, last minute things. I love guys that don't plan. They're so much fun to sell to. So anyways, I wanted to talk a little bit tonight in regards to the classes that I got to go to at leadership. And the one class, I guess it was one class, but there was several different speakers. And so I just kind of wrote some notes and some things down that kind of spoke to me that I hope speaks to you guys. The first topic that we talked about was hybrid sales. And the gal that did this, this portion of the class, her name was Chelsea Adkins, and she is on Jamie Taylor's team. She's very young. She's very fun. If you want to follow her on Instagram, you can. And her sign or hashtag, not hashtag, her username is at Princess Chels, and it's CHELSS. And the reason I'm giving you that is because her talk was mostly about hybrid selling and the difference that the stuff that you can do between in-person and social media. So one of the things that she kind of started out talking with is how, you know, we've been hearing ever since the pandemic that we need to pivot, we need to pivot, we need to pivot. And that's wonderful and that's great. And a lot of us have, and a lot of us still are, but we don't want to pivot too far that all we do is online. We need to remember the reason that we, Mary Kay started the company, and we kind of need to pivot back, and we need to be able to fluctuate between the two kind of at a balance. So I am talking about hybrid sales, which would most likely be online or social media type content, but keeping in mind that we do want to still do in person. We still want to have some of those opportunities and to just kind of go back and forth with that. So leading into that, one of the things that she said that was really interesting to me, and this really spoke to me, was that our social media is to be looked at as like attraction marketing. We shouldn't be looking at social media just to make our sales. Yes, you can make sales off of social media. And yes, that is a great avenue to advertise things, to talk about things, but you don't want to look at your social media platforms as your only way to sell. That is supposed to be kind of thought as like a lead generator. And most of the time when you post stuff, and I know that I'm guilty of this too, because I post a lot of, I reshare a lot of Mary Kay related type topics. But what they're saying the trend is they want to see 90% of your social media contact just about you and your life. You don't want to necessarily have all of your stuff just be about Mary Kay content. And I'm talking about your personal pages and your business page. I really thought, you know, my business page should really be focused on my business, and then my personal page should be focused on my personal stuff, and not really kind of crossing the two. And then I started kind of crossing the two a little bit, and I'm learning, and I'm wanting to change that back a little bit. So the reason that that's important, and I'm pretty sure that Heidi and April have both kind of talked on this subject, and we've had this talk to us before, but I wanted to reshare it, especially just because it kind of really resonated with me. So one of the things that she talked about is she want to share stuff about your everyday life. And the reason that you want to do that is, first of all, that's the kind of stuff people are interested in. That's the kind of stuff that's going to show people your character, who you are, genuinely who you are, authentically who you are, and what you're doing within your life. Some of the things that you do, you might not think matter that much or are that big of a deal, but those little posts in your social media atmosphere are the things that are going to help you build trust with people, especially if they're people that maybe you don't know in person, you've never met in person. They started following you on social media. This is a way for them to get to know you. So for example, one of the things that she posts is and this is a way to build trust. So she posted a picture of her like holding her cup from Starbucks, and she posted her recipe of what she gets at Starbucks. And the point of that is because a lot of times people are willing to go out and try things that you post, not Mary Kay related, for example, a recipe or, your Starbucks order, or if you go have your nails done or your hair, things like that. And what it does is if somebody goes and tries that Starbucks recipe and then likes it, then they're going to be like, oh, I can trust this person because she posts stuff that is true. She could also go try the Starbucks recipe and hate it. And it doesn't mean that what she posts isn't true. It still means that what she posts is true for her. It's just not something you necessarily liked, but it's still true because you were able to find that recipe at Starbucks, if that makes sense. So that was kind of like the example that she used the most with that. One of the other things she talked quite a bit about, and I really kind of want to piggyback on April's training a couple of weeks ago in regards to social medias and digital content. The platform TikTok is the only one that we can't talk about sharing the opportunity. All of the other platforms, at least at this time when she was doing her training in Nashville, we could talk on our social medias about sharing the opportunity. The parts that you can't talk about is what when you're talking about specific amounts of commissions. You can't mention that. And then you can mention the 50% profit by selling products. You just want to really kind of stay away from the commission side of it. You could mention something like there is a way to earn extra commissions within the company, but you don't want to go into great details with that. And then she also referred us back to the digital guide on the social media side of the Mary Kay in Touch. And she's like, the company has just done such a good job for us putting those digital playbooks together month by month. And she says, just go through those and find the things that you like and find the things that resonate with you. And then just start using your social media to coincide with that playbook and just kind of, go from there to build your social media presence. If that's something you want to do, with, again, keeping in mind that social media is meant to be a lead generator and to attract marketing potentials. It's not to be your only way of selling. So that was kind of that, in a nutshell, on that topic. She did talk about some other things that I thought were very interesting in regards to tips that you should have and know to sell your products. So one of the things that was interesting in my perspective was she literally, every lookbook she gets, she reads it and she memorizes it. Now, I'm not saying everybody needs to memorize the lookbook because I don't know that I could do that, but we certainly should be reading it and looking through it. And we should mostly know the basics about our products. We might not remember exactly the price on everything or all of the ingredients, but we should have a pretty good overview of our lookbook and we should know where the stuff is. So when we get the new lookbooks, like right now, how they're going out and they're starting to get their spring one, when people are starting to ask questions and they see the new products, we should know where those are at in the lookbook. So we're not fumbling through them trying to find stuff. And then she said, know your products and get to know them. If there's ones that you don't know, or the new ones, order them for yourself, get to using them, get to liking them, or not liking them. You don't have to like everything, but you want to know what the product is supposed to do for the customer. That's what we are supposed to be as product experts, knowledgeable about that kind of stuff. And then repetition makes you get better at it. So if it's something that you're not as comfortable with, which makeup is one that I'm getting more comfortable with, and I'm practicing every day and doing little new tricks to change it up a little bit. And as I'm doing it each day, I'm getting a little bit better at it. And so that's kind of that bullet point, I guess, is, repetition makes you get better at it. And then the last thing that she kind of talked on, which was really resonated with me, especially kind of goes back to how I started this meeting to where I'm at, is you don't want to build your entire team on the people who just want to help you reach a goal. That's great. And we all have those people and we all want those people and they're necessary to our team, but we need to diversify our teams and we need to really kind of build them. You're going to have your people that want to be personal shoppers. You're going to have your people that want to help you with goals. You're going to have your people that want to do a business. And so you want to diversify that the same way you would your customer list, or all of the people that buy from you. So that's just one thing that really kind of resonated with me, because I did have a lot of people on my team that wanted to help me reach a goal. They were a lot of personal shoppers and we did phenomenal and we got there, and then it was like, oh wait, now what? So I've had to pivot a little bit in the last month, and I'm restructuring and refocusing on my new plans and stuff to get me back to where I wanted to be. So the next topic was really specific for people in DIQ, but there is stuff that I think is important, even if you're not in DIQ or not wanting to be in DIQ. One of the most important things I want to say is, even if you don't want to build a team, we don't want to sell our people short. We don't want to prejudge them, and we don't want to limit what is possible for them just because maybe we don't personally want to build a team. So we talk about sharing the opportunity and we talk about team building, we talk about all those things, but nobody really talks about how to do that if you don't want to build a team, because it's okay not to want to build a team. What we want to remember is that there are sometimes people that we should share the opportunity with, and maybe it's something that they need to hear, and maybe they need to hear it from us. And we don't want to limit that because we don't want to build a team ourselves, or we're scared, or we're not sure how to do it. So one of the things that's really great with that is if you have somebody and you kind of talk a little bit about that, or you kind of, open up the conversation and kind of send out a little bit of those snippets, and you start to realize that they're maybe interested, that's when you can get your director on the phone with them, make a second call, a 3-way call, a Zoom, and go meet for coffee, any of those things to help that person kind of get going. And, there's no right or wrong way how to do that. That's just something that kind of was like a little nugget that I just wanted to share in regards to this. So the rest of this topic really does go off of like being in DIQ and some of that strategies that is pertinent for building a team or not. So one of the things that's really cool is she does want us to, when we're on Facebook or we're on social media, and we do have like a group specific for that, maybe it's not like on Facebook specifically, but maybe it's a Voxer group or a text thread or a messenger thread. And it's just the people within your group, like your recruits specifically. You want to talk about the goal. You want to talk about it like crazy. You want to be excited about it, because people want to help other people and people want to have something to work towards. So if you're somebody who doesn't want to build a team, that's great. But maybe you want to help somebody else with their goal of building a team. Maybe there's lots of other things that you can do. And unless you know what people are reaching for or what is possible for you to reach for, you don't know what to do if you don't have a goal. So talk to your people about goals and do it in your personal page as well, just not as much detail, and don't go crazy about it. Remember, that is social media is for the attraction. It's not for like your personal diary. So of course we talk about power starts all the time. And that really and truly is the way. Power start over and over and over and over again. Just make that part of your plan. Do 30 faces in 30 days, every 30 days, every 30 days. And then as you're doing that, you want to start tracking and knowing your own average, your own face average. We've talked about this before. We know that the company's average is typically 30 faces is about $100 per face, which would be $3,000 in sale, which would equal about $1,500 in profit. That's great to know the company average, but that might not be our personal averages. And so you want to know where you're starting with, and you want to know how you can build up for it, because that's another thing to look at is, especially as you're like, for example, at the beginning of the meeting, you know, Heidi's talking about all of the great things that she's been doing this week. And she said some of her parties maybe didn't order. But the great thing about that, in addition to her just doing the faces and getting the practice, is the ones that did order, I would bet that her face per face average is going up because she's getting more comfortable with you know, whatever she's doing in her parties, and she's doing the repetition, she's seeing the faces. And so her average is going to start to go up, and it's fun to watch that trend grow. So if you don't write it down and start with it, you don't know where you are right now. And then you don't know where you're going to be to watch how that grows. That could be a little goal that you see within yourself that nobody else is really going to see. It's not tracked anywhere. So that was kind of cool. And then you always want to set up sharing calls. Of course, that's more specifically if you're wanting to grow a team. If you're not wanting to grow a team, you know, what we talked about. And then the company challenge, she just reiterated it again, you know, 60 faces in 60 days. And we just want to do what the company is, you know, wanting us to do. They do a lot of research, and they do a lot of things to come up with what they're offering for us. And so we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We don't want to do any of that. We just want to do what the company says. And 60 faces in 60 days is a great little catchphrase and gimmick and all that, because it's the 60th year. But we know that that's really no different than a power start. 60 faces in 60 days is the same thing as 30 faces in 30 days. Just do your power start every single month. So that was kind of what that gal talked about. And then we moved on to the next gal, and her name was Jordan Twilley. And she talked about following up. Following up is one of my areas that I really want to get better at, and I really want to be consistent with. That's one of the areas that I personally am still learning a lot about. So when we're doing events, or we're doing classes or Zooms like we are tonight, or we're doing any kind of trainings, she said it's always nice when you take notes that we write a bunch of stuff down. And sometimes what we're doing in our notes just kind of get lost in the memory of, or, you know, in all the notes. So what she wants us to do is to take a separate sheet of paper and to make an implementation list in addition to our notes that we're writing. So when you hear something that applies to you, if you don't implement it within 72 hours, you're going to lose it. And so what the separate sheet of paper is you can write your notes, and then you can make your separate sheet of the things that you want to implement right away, so you don't lose it. And then confidence comes by being uncomfortable, which was kind of funny because exactly goes back to what that was talking about. The follow-up was uncomfortable for me. And so my confidence in the following up is by doing it and just keep repeating it. So when we are following up with customers, we want to remember that 3 to 5 times of reaching out is about the average nationally for getting a booking date. Denise shared something on the Voxer page this morning. I think hope everybody saw it, in regards to the different times that you talk to somebody and like percentages and stuff, and how there's so much missed opportunity because we feel like we're bothering people or we don't contact them enough. And so what we're doing and what we're learning is that we live in chaos. We all know that there's so much going on. We have families, we have kids, we have jobs, we have lives, we have husbands, we have dogs. You know, there's just so many things going on. And we're not annoying people when we reach out to them. A lot of times they might forget that we reached out to them. You know, they're like, oh, I got to get back to that. But then they kind of lose track of it. And so when we respond back to them and follow up again, it's sometimes like one of those welcome things like, oh, I did forget that. That is something I wanted to do. So I do want to meet up with you, or I do want to get that booked. So don't think of contacting your people multiple times as annoying them. We want to think of it as we're the ones that's going to help them through the chaos. Don't be weird. Don't be slimy about it, but do it authentically. And sometimes you can mix up what you're saying. You know, if you message them and say, hey, I'm having a booking blitz going on. Would you be interested in setting up a time for a party? And you know, maybe they reply back. They're like, oh yeah, I'd really love to do that. I'll get back to you on when. And so maybe you don't hear back from them. And so you message them again. You're like, hey, I hope you're still interested in wanting to book a party. Are you ready to set a date? So you're kind of saying the same things, but you're saying it in a little bit of a different terminology. So it's not just like cringy and you're just saying like the same things, or copying and pasting stuff into a multiple of, you know, many different people's threads. So we want to make sure that we do the effort, we do the work, and then we trust the process. Trust the timeline. Things will work. We know that this is mathematical, it's not magical. And we want to make sure that we're just doing things as we are authentically our own people and how it works for us. You can always send something to somebody in a different wording than you would send it to somebody else. For example, like if I'm going to send a message or call my sister, I'm fairly sarcastic and funny and like, you know, kind of dorky with her. But if I was talking to somebody else, maybe at my church, I wouldn't probably be like inappropriate like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I would with my sister. So know your audience and know how you talk to them. And that's part of having relationships with people. You should know how to talk to them. Now, don't be like not professional, because that's obviously one of the most important things when we are representing Mary Kay in the business. We want to always be professional, and we want to be good stewards and represent the business professionally and very well. But you also know your people and know when you can kind of be a little silly or a little off the cuff with them. Tell your customers what to expect. Let them know what is going to be in it for them if they're going to be a hostess, and let them know that it's okay to pick a goal. Have them work on a goal with you. If you're going to tell your hostess, you're going to have her, you're going to coach with her, and you're going to have her set stuff up, follow up with her every you know, not every day, but you want to follow up with her in the timing that you do with your hostesses and your parties and stuff. And you want to have her set a goal. You can always set a goal. You can say, hey, I'd really like your party to get to say $300. And then say, what do you think you want your party to get to? And then you can work backwards to get her to set a goal based on what it's going to generate for her as far as like hostess credits. Let them know that they're going to get lookbooks in the mail with samples when you put them on your preferred customer list. Let them know you're going to send them invitations to your Facebook page or your private social media groups. You want to let your people know this kind of stuff ahead of time. So then when you're doing your follow-up, it's not going to be unexpected, or you're not going to get a friend request from somebody on social media and they're like, why am I getting this friend request? I don't even really know you. You want to let them know some of those things up front, so then there isn't as much follow-up as needed because you've already kind of established some of those basics that's going to happen. Let them know, you know, I'm going to text you in 2 days to see how you liked your product. I'm going to, you know, do the 2 days after the appointment, the 2 weeks to follow up, and then the 2 months for reorder. Let them know at the party or at the facial, these are the things that you're going to do. So then when you do them, it's not a surprise, or they're not going to feel, you know, annoyed or bothered. Not that they do anyways, but sometimes I know people, you know, get that feeling within themselves. I have, at least. Okay, so one of the other things you want to do is set the next appointment at the time you're at the first appointment. So if you're doing a party and you're doing skincare and you're going to set up the next party for makeup, set that at the first one, because that's just one step you don't have to follow up with after the fact. You're doing it right then and there, and you're going to be more effective, and you're going to be more oh gosh, I just lost the word. Like
efficient.
Yes, thank you. Efficient. So when you
I
get
was going to say streamlined.
yeah, I know. I was like, I didn't even write the word down. So yes, you guys know what I mean. Anyways, so one of the other things that's kind of cool is when you're in the beginning of the stages with your hostess and you're doing a party, you're going to watch her people, watch the money exchange, watch the different things, and kind of watch your hostess's like facial expressions. So you kind of know what excited her or what kind of caught her attention. So when you follow up with her to potentially do like a career chat or, you know, a second party, you know what kind of caught her attention, to know what areas to kind of pinpoint on. Oh, do you remember at the party when so-and-so tried this on and she just absolutely loved it? You can write little notes as you're doing the party and you can save them for later. That one sheet that April sent out a while ago about the coaching on the party at a time, that is one of the best sheets. And I've been using that in my parties because you can jot notes down all the time and it puts like your guest list and you can have notes to go with it. And so that's a really good one to use for that kind of stuff. And then if you do drop the ball, be honest, tell them, and then get back to it and move forward with that. So when you follow up with your team, you want to kind of keep your new recruits in your back pocket for the first couple of weeks. You want to book their debut right away as soon as they sign. And these are some of the kind of things you want to do at the time that they sign their agreement, working with your existing director, and get some of these things going right away. You want to find out what they want from this opportunity. You want to make sure they start by downloading the Great Start app and get their list of 150 people, like their ultimate list, written out. If you can do some of those things right in the very beginning when they're signing their agreement with you, you're already like 3 steps ahead of the process, because they're already starting to work it. They're already starting to get momentum going. They're already going to know some of the emails that are coming, and one of the steps to do, they're going to feel like they're ahead of the game because they've already done some of those things. And then you don't have to, you know, go back and try and do those things later. Get a product of, like, have them start getting a list going of the products that they love. Tell them of the next event that you guys have going on, whether it's an in-person, a Zoom, any of those kinds of things. Get them involved right away. Have them come to stuff, have them get on the Zooms, have them talk with your director, and then have the inventory conversation set up so you can get on the phone with your director and your recruit and have that inventory conversation right at the beginning, because we know in the first 14 days, there's some pretty cool perks that you can get, and you don't want to wait on that. You don't want to lose that opportunity for them to kind of get going. And then before you leave, the last thing you want to do is you want to make sure you establish the next time you're going to talk with them, the next time you're going to meet with them, whatever you're going to do the next one. So you have that already pre-established. And those are some of the follow-up steps that you do at the time of wanted to time was the last part was the 3K way. So talked about doing the so this one was Heather Daniel Kent, and she did this little training, and she did everything training on the Mary Kay way. So one of the things that's really cool, and I didn't get to see it obviously because I didn't get to meet Mary Kay, but one of the things that Mary Kay was really good at was she was always good at recognizing or talking to a person and utilizing their name in the conversation. So I guess statistically, one of the sweetest things a person can hear is their own name on their ears. So when you're talking to someone, you always want to reference and use their name, or, you know, flows in the conversation. You don't want to say it at like a random moment, just weird, but you want to be able to say their name and use it in the conversation. That's going to help you retain their name, but it's also going to make them really feel special that you're using their name to talk to them. And it's not where we start, it's where we finish. And the finish line is always going to be continually moving. And so that's one of the things that's kind of cool to think about, because even Mary Kay has said it, and we've heard it a million times, the top check has not been cut yet. There's always going to be more that we can do, more that we can grow, more than we can learn, all those kinds of things. Be real, be grateful, work from being grateful, and don't ever be satisfied. Always yearn to grow, to learn, and to move forward. So she talked a little bit about the golden rule. We've all heard that. Treat other people how how is it worded? Treat other people how you would want
to be treated.
Yes, that's wrong, because not everybody's going to want to be treated the same way you want to be treated. So what she said was treat people how they want to be treated. And so that was kind of cool. She's like, that's the platinum rule. The golden rule is you can treat people how you want to be treated, but the platinum rule is to treat them how they want to be treated. Remember that Mary Kay started this company on faith first, family second, and career third. And the important thing on that is not 93rd. You want to balance your value system. We want to have our faith first, our family second, and our career third, not 93rd, not behind all of our hobbies and our scrolling social medias and playing games and all those different things. So know your value system and make sure that you're aligning your value system with what you're doing. And if it's not in alignment, then it's time to make some changes. P&L in Mary Kay, we have heard before, stands for people and love, not profit and loss. Live life of integrity and honesty. Live by example, and live by example. Pass it on. Pass it all on. Don't sell people short. Use your go-give spirit, and helping 24 people just might get you to being a director. So then she had a couple of little fun sayings, I guess. So leadership begins with the heart and understanding the Mary Kay way. Mary Kay herself, no, Heather herself did 5 years of power starts, never failing, no matter what. Every single month for 5 years, this gal, Heather Daniel Kent, and she is one of the top sales directors within Mary Kay. She did a power start every month for 5 years, never failing, never ever failing, which was just amazing to me. It was just one of those standards, you know. It's not something that she like worked towards. It was just that for her was the bare minimum. Leadership is teaching people to do what you're already doing. That's kind of why I'm training tonight, I guess. You know, I'm learning to do stuff and I'm passing it on. I'm passing it forward. Booking, when you book people, do it with a high rate of rejection that's coming. You know it will happen, but it doesn't mean that that's bad. It could be a reschedule. It could be later. It doesn't mean that if they rebook, it's bad. Turn any red light activity that you have into green light activity. Develop your offsprings as your destination for growth. Offspring consultants, offspring customers, offspring hostesses. It doesn't all have to be about building a team and going into directorship. That's just obviously the class I was in, so that's where their focus was. It's okay to make a goal, and it's okay to get your spirits going. That's what will drive us. That's what will help us. And then do the right thing always, even when nobody's looking. You know, something simple like taking your grocery cart back to the store inside or putting it in one of those, the grocery cart carousel things. Like, how hard is that? And how often do we do things when nobody's looking? That's when we know our integrity is going to come out. And if you unintentionally do something wrong or to hurt someone, it's our job to fix that. It's not their job to come to us and ask for forgiveness or to bring it up. It's our job to fix it always. So those were just some of the things that I took away from the leadership training, and the Mary Kay way was my favorite part of the class. And I don't think I could write notes to go along with what she was saying, but we know that we want to make people feel important, and we want them to feel not naturally, authentically important. We don't want to just say things to be like surface. You know, I've been in clothing stores before and I've tried clothes-ons or whatever, clothes on. And, you know, I don't have a Barbie doll figure. And so when people, like a sales clerk or something, comes up to me and she's like, oh, that looks so cute on you. And I really know it doesn't, because that does not go with my body's, you know, structure or shape or whatever. That's not real. That's not somebody saying something genuine to me. That's just somebody wanting to make a sale. So we want to make sure that we're making people feel important by telling them the truth. We want to listen. We want to ask questions, find commonalities, find ways to connect with them, say their name, smile, and be happy. Practice with no intentions to build trust and to build your confidence. And the very last thing is 30 faces, 30 days, every month, always. We can all do that. It's amazing the trajectory in like 6 months from now, 3 months from now, if you just start going back to the basics and doing those things as you can. We all can come across a new person in every single day of our walk. Now, you don't have to do a facial every single day with a new person. Parties help you do more than one at a time. Events that we go to, Zooms, sharing videos, those things. There's lots of ways to meet with 30 people in 30 days. So go out and do it. That's pretty much the end of my notes. And the last thing I'm going to leave you with as far as inspirational close is success is inconvenient, but it will take you somewhere incredible.
So good. Oh my gosh. Your confidence and your ability to teach and share. Fantastic, Kelli. I know that, and I know that you talked a little bit after we got back about your experience at leadership, but you know, from your perspective, what do you feel like shifted within you after being a part of that crowd and being there, you know, at that level of caliber of people in the company?
Yeah, it was just so awesome to be with that caliber of people and just seeing so many people who were happy and thankful and, you know, friendly to be there. And it was like, it just was kind of like looking at the sea of directors and DIQs and like how possible this really is. And, you know, the first time I went to seminar, I remember being really nervous and uncomfortable and thinking I was out of my element, that I wasn't going to look like a model at everything. And so for the seminar, I was really kind of caught up in how diverse everybody was, you know, size, age, ethnicity, all those kinds of things. And at leadership, it was really cool to be like, okay, here's the top 1% of our company. And the diversity was still there. There was young girls, there were older ladies, there were heavy ladies, there were disabled ladies, there were mamas, you know, breastfeeding, there, everything you could imagine in a person was there. And every one of those people has done it. There's no reason why any of us can't do it. We're the only ones holding ourselves back. And I think that was like the thing that I took home the most, is it's like, I want this, I'm working towards this, I'm doing the steps, and step I make forward is a win. And yeah, sometimes there's some steps that have gone backwards, but they're still wins, because ultimately I'm still more forward than I was ever backwards. So it was just so fun. The atmosphere was so much more laid back and casual, and just people genuinely wanting to get to know you and get to know what you're wanting out of this. And man, talk about feeling important. Everybody with a red jacket on, it was like a neon sign was like, I'm in DIQ, come tell me how awesome that is. And it's amazing. It just really was. So
beautiful, beautiful. Such a great job. Does anybody have any questions or feedback for Kelli?
Yeah, I wasn't checking the chat, so.
I was keeping up on it a little bit here.
Kelli, I thought that you did amazing, and I absolutely loved everything you shared. It's absolutely my philosophy too, and I loved the platinum rule.
Yeah,
that is really truly listening to what other people's needs and wants and desires are, and wanting to get to know them so that you do know exactly what they want and how they want to be treated. So that was profound. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, I loved that one. So good. I'm glad that resonated with you.
And the lookbooks, because I've been saying forever, you guys just look at the lookbook and read it. If
Right?
you're on the phone with somebody and they were asking about a product, open your lookbook and read what it says, because it's going to tell you right there what to say, and you'll look really smart. Once you memorize it, though, it's the best.
Yeah, it really is. And I've been working towards that. So I'm learning, I'm getting more product knowledge, and I'm getting more of those little details, which has helped me upsell a little bit too, which has been kind of fun. Or cross sell, I guess.
Yeah, cross sell, and just one at a time. Just you can learn one item at a time.
Yeah.
Like as you're making your calls, you could even tell your customers, I'm trying to learn more about this product that we have because I don't use it. So can I tell you a little bit about it? And forgive me if I'm reading it to you. I mean, really, you could do it any way to teach yourself and be sincere and genuine and honest. And that's the key. So way to go, Kelly.
Thanks.
Kelly,
Really,
I
really
just want
great.
to affirm you. Like, you are so, like, there's like a different light about you, totally, since you got back from leadership. I absolutely love it. And just having you training, like, you've done some trainings before for us, but it's different. There's something different now. And I really love it. I love seeing it. I love you being on this journey with, like, I feel like you know how I feel. We're like journey buddies. I'm just really proud of you.
I am definitely, I can feel it myself, and I've had multiple people say it. So I'm super excited to see where this is going, and I'm still moving forward. I have my goals and my affirmations, and I'm doing it. So
You are. And you know, it's like the rebuilding phase that you're in. Like, we have all been there and we've all done it. I'm doing it right now, even as a director. Like, it's something that the quicker you learn to move through that and be like, hey, this is where we're at, this is what we're doing. Like,
yep.
it just becomes second nature, right? And you're learning all that now, which is so wonderful. Like, rather than waiting until later, like
I'm just
you're doing it. Yeah.
Yep.
And I love your transparency at the beginning too of, okay, the reason I'm not in my red jacket is because I have got, all these people on my team, but they're not all active because, yeah. And again, like Heidi said, we all do that where when we're going for a really big goal, there are people that want to jump on just to support you. And maybe they're going to order once or twice. That's going to, in the long run, make up the base of your unit. When I look at my unit, it's just, there's more numbers, but it's still kind of the same percentage of people that are actually working versus, selling a little bit, side hustle to then the personal use and the ones on their way out. It's kind of the same numbers. So I loved your transparency of, okay, I'm doing it now, because if you don't do it now, you're going to do it later, because again, we're all going to attract and recruit a certain amount of people who we think are going to do great that don't do anything, and vice versa. Some of those people do come around, but it's like what we were told, what we sell them in the beginning is what we're going to get. So don't, and you mentioned this, don't sell them short on what the opportunity offers. Even if they just say, this is all I'm going to do, you never know what it could be. So show them the possibility. So in the right timing, they may jump on for more. That was just really, really good.
Yeah.
I have another little closing, and this is actually from Mary Kay, and it says, fortunate indeed is the person who has someone with whom someone with whom the difficulties of life can be shared. I have often observed when a sales director or unit member is confronted with a personal problem that the unit stands together in helping that sister in distress. What a wonderful circle of friendships that we have. Perhaps it's one of the greatest fringe benefits of our company, and making so many friends. And we say that often when we share about the opportunity, which we'll be doing at every one of our first celebration circles, first meeting of the week or of the month. We're going to be sharing marketing as well. And when I think about, I have girlfriends that have been in my life for a short time, but the girlfriends that we make in Mary Kay are forever. And Mary Kay could not have said it better. It is, and today's the day of love and celebration. And, my heart is so filled with gratitude for the relationships, the long-standing, long-enduring women that will be there for you no matter what, through all the ups and downs, celebrating the victories and helping pick each other up, during those slippery spots in life, because a lot of people are going through it. And we've all been there so that we can help other people navigate that. We just get through a lot faster. So anybody else have anything else before we move along for the week? Kelly, great job. And it's been
Great
so
job,
fun to do
Kelly.
your makeup every day. Oh, there's Mary. And I saw
Thank you so
Diane's-
much. That you're so engaging, like so inspiring and engaging. So I have a billion pages of notes.
Nice. I saw Diane was on here too, Diane Patton.
Yes, she got a job.
Oh, you got a job.
Yes. I
Yes.
was going to share that. I'm not sure if she's still on, but she got a job. She's going to be working with disabled children, and it's right up her alley. She's going to be so amazing at that, and she's ready to get going again on her Mary Kay and moving forward. And we talked a little bit today and yesterday, and so I'm so excited for her, and I'm glad she got on tonight. So hope she's still on.
Fantastic. I think she is. All right, you guys. We are going to, like I said, cut out the training portion and we'll post this on our YouTube page. We'll start getting the word out about that. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful, fantastic rest of your Valentine's Day. Thanks for joining.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Good night, everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day. Love you all. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, we have a special guest speaker next week as well, you guys. You are not going to want to miss it. Bye for now.
I'll keep
Bye-bye.
posting pictures of my Mary Kay beauty ambassador too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do that. It's beautiful. Jennifer's daughter, if you guys don't know, is in Paris right now modeling, and she is absolutely gorgeous.
She's living my dream.
Yeah.
Ditto.
Yeah.
Ditto.
Yeah.
I never got out of Boise, so.
Good
All right. Have a good week,
night,
ladies.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.